Hello, let me do a short chatty video on Steve Donahue, on Dnl Grn. Steve Donahue was reacting to a Wired article about booktuber, we'll just call him booktuber, Dnl Grn, who is a big in the little fish pond that is YouTube. In booktube, Dnl Grn is a fairly big fish in that he's got like 200 over 200 thousand subscribers and is able to actually make a living what he does. He's probably not drinking champagne in his mansion, but he's making what appears to be sort of a living wage on booktube. And he got interviewed on a Wired podcast, and there was an article showing little clips from it. And Steve sort of reacted to that video because within the interview, Dnl Grn does talk about sort of the hard realities of making a living on YouTube. That if you're going to make videos that are going to get views, they have to be on popular subjects. That he'd like to feature like all these kind of like indie authors, but he knows if he actually reviewed all those indie authors, that people wouldn't be as interested as like him talking about Wheel of Time, which is something that he does a lot of videos about and has got a genuine enthusiasm about. He's also probably quite rightly proud of all the hard work he's put into trying to make his channel as professional, as entertaining as possible. He does skits. He has the kind of the fast-paced editing. And he's obviously kind of honed himself. Just on a lot of different levels. Lighting, photography, just his delivery of how he presents himself as a professionalized video personality on YouTube, and he expresses within that, as a lot of booktubers do. Sometimes they're ambivalent with certain things of this just doesn't really appeal to me as something to do, and other things that did. And he also talks about making very kind of videos which are going to get high viewerships right away, like his I think it's fantasy news, which will get a lot of views at the beginning, but then will drop off because then it becomes old news and nobody's going to be interested in it. Versus things where maybe he reviews a book or has an author interviews, apparently are very evergreen. He has an interview with Brandon Sanderson, or he's got one with Jim Butcher up at the Jim Butcher, which he says these are videos that people will probably be interested in for a long time and will just consistently always get him views. Which for him, views means actual ad revenue, money, because he is trying to make a living from this. And that's sort of where he's at now. Where Steve, I think, takes issue with someone with Dnl Grn, talking about professional presentation, is that there's the inauthenticity that Dnl Grn is somebody who is looking at this with a business eye. His content to a certain degree is getting shaped by what he's going to get views with. He's got a certain kind of a certain kind of patented delivery, which is Steve finds kind of inauthentic. There's some ways that I look at it as like a news presenter. There's a certain kind of a cadence that a news presenter has. A lot of kind of like more professional booktubers, I don't know what that is. There's a certain rhythm, certain statico. I think Steve goes, and then they talk like this with we got to punch up this copy and make it, and we got to sell it. which it does. You hear that, with booktubers, whether it's that or kind of we've got to make things bright. We've got to pump up the energy in our videos, whether you're feeling the energy or not, because this is a job, and you have to bring network energy to your videos, to engage your audience, and make sure that the advertisers find you attractive and friendly, and they want to spend money with your videos. And uh, Steve, I think where Steve finds the main issue with that is that it's he doesn't want people to confuse what Dnl Grn's doing with what he's doing, or what more hobbyist booktubers are doing, which um, to me is like, it's one of these things of, I mean, this is a side effect of this being the Wild West to a degree still, that um, people who are doing this as a hobby. I mean, some of the people who are doing this as a hobby, I think Dnl Grn says, like, he just started out doing this as a hobby, and it was only as he went along and he actually started getting a lot more viewers. He went, oh well, maybe I could actually make a living doing this. He's actually he's a software engineer, and he suddenly realized, oh, I can make more money as a booktuber than as a software engineer, and I enjoy talking about fantasy books and science fiction, mostly fantasy books. So that's like, oh, that's what I will I'll devote my time to, instead of being a software engineer. My studio is getting constructed in my neighbor's yard. Really, that's what that is. That's my big professional studio that I'll be constructing, so that I can be soundproof at all times and have super high quality. Um, Never mind. Lame joke. Lame joke. Um, but I think I'd probably just like to sort of say that what Dnl Grn is presenting isn't without its worth. He is a professional booktuber, and he's doing more of a professional product show, um, which is fine, because I think there's sometimes that I come on YouTube and I want just that intimate one-on-one. We're having a conversation, just talking, hearing what seems to be kind of regular folk, just sort of talk about their enthusiasms, usually about books. That is my interest. Um, but there's sometimes I come on YouTube, and it's like, oh, I just want, for better lack of better word, like sort of a TV show, something where I can uh, I can be entertained, and I can just have a kind of a quick hit of that kind of escapism enjoyment. And I think someone like Dnl Grn might be kind of more into that realm of, like, oh, we're gonna hear about fun topics, you know, fantasy tropes I hate, or stuff like that. I have to admit, I don't actually watch a lot of Dnl Grn. I find that when I want to get my entertainment hit, I'm more into, I do that with movies, and television is where I go for that fantasy hit. That not fan that escapism kind of showbiz. I don't I don't have the illusion that I have any connection with the person who's entertaining me. They're an entertainer. They're up on the stage. Whereas when I go to BookTube, yeah, it's more like we're in the audience and I'm chatting to someone beside me. Uh, is the distinction I would make. I would say that they both have their kind of positive qualities to them. They're both things that I enjoy, but it's like, just like, someone up on stage, I expect is scripted, is here playing to a wide audience. I'm not expecting that the person sitting beside me is going to be as polished and as that. And yes, this person is going to be more. It's a one-on-one connection more. Um, it's not authentic. It's more personal, but I don't expect the person up on stage to be that. Um, and I think that's where I make the distinction. I don't see Dnl Grn as being fake. I just see him as being an actor on the stage. Whereas when I see Steve Donahue, when I tune into one of his videos, I'm expecting kind of Steve Donahue. Kind of, this is the guy I would, if I got to know him in actual person, this is probably how I'd expect him to be, as warm and as friendly and as cantankerous and opinionated and John Philip Sousa loving, and I get to meet Frida. It's like that's the kind of relationship I have with Steve Donahue, but I don't expect to have that kind of relationship with Dnl Grn, and I don't think Dnl Grn is any less or any less authentic because of it. He's just he's going for a different effect. He is an actor. Steve is Steve. So yeah, I guess that's what that's my discourse on that little thing. Yeah. All right. I'll leave it there. More videos later.